So I find this kind of unsettling. I don't know how exactly to put it. Worrisome, maybe. Mel Brooks was interviewed recently, and he said his only regret as a comedian is the jokes he didn't tell.
What? What? That? Wait, what? What are the jokes you didn't tell, Mel? A little worried about this. What?
I No one's ever really hard canceled Mel Brooks because most people kind of give him somewhat of a pass for most of the things that he's done. But I think
I
we
mean,
also generally agree as a society that like some of that wasn't exactly okay.
some of it. A lot of those movies were not okay in today's times. Uh, they're still classics, but cult classics. There's a group surrounding those that will love those for life, even after Mel Brooks tells these jokes that he forgot to tell. I,
I hope that that's not a promise, you know?
it's not a promise, but
I
like
hope
it's a
that that's
prediction.
something he's just going to keep under his hat.
I really
Uh
hope. I feel like it's gonna be some weird jokes. I don't know why. He might write a book about it. Like he
yeah,
might do the Groucho letters or something like that. But it's the Mel Brooks letters.
here's the more specific quote. Over the course of his career, Brooks has told countless edgy jokes, but he doesn't regret any of them. Not one I would take back, he says. Instead, he says it's the jokes he opted not to tell that haunt him. There were plenty of jokes I should have just exploded with, and I said, maybe it's a bit too much for the kids or whatever.
Maybe it's a bit too much for the kids or whatever. So the next generation of people that are supposed to be understanding your comedy, it's I mean, it's a good business sense, Mel, but like what didn't you say? What are
He
you
said
hiding?
so many things. What did he withhold is like now nagging at me in
I
this
want to know. I need to know.
distressing way.
It's like that meme. I they're never gonna know. No one's ever gonna know. But it's Mel Brooks. This feels like a tease. This feels like he's trying to get clout or something
Yeah, is
nowadays.
he trying to get in on that canceled comedian money?
The Mel Brooks camp is active again.
Mel Brooks at 95 years old, uh, the end of his life, basically retired, extremely successful, is
Jesus.
going to start complaining about being canceled.
I mean, like thinking of other people from that era, there's a ton of people who've been canceled from that era, and I'm surprised he is the one who has lasted this long without some sort of slip up or like something. But like somebody in his PR group obviously knows what they're doing. Um, I don't know. It's interesting. I really want to know. Like you're not wrong. I am like on the edge of my seat, and I paid for this whole seat, and I'm like
Only
wasting it.
using the edge.
I'm only using the edge
You
right
don't
now
need the
because I
whole
want to
seat when
know.
you're anticipating something like this.
I want to
What
know
secret jokes is Mel Brooks hiding?
the Mel tell, the Mel tell all.
Uh,
God,
God, I
there's so many good titles it could be, but like I know that whatever's in those pages is probably terrible.
I kind of hope we just never find out, really. But also, like, I am so disturbingly curious. I mean, this man has told jokes about race. He's done jokes about weird sex stuff, jokes about weird stuff involving poop. Like, you name it. You know, like Mel Brooks has done a lot of very bizarre, edgy jokes in his time.
It's true. I mean, he's
You just
he is
wouldn't expect someone like that, who has made the movies that he's made, etc., to be like, actually, yes, I didn't really get to say enough.
yeah. I didn't get to say everything that I wanted to say. Just like you're
I had more that
senile.
I wanted to say.
He's 95. Like the man is 95. What is in this dementia-ridden brain that is about to come out and just ruin his entire career even
Listen, I
more?
don't know if y'all been around somebody with dementia, but it's rough.
It
Okay,
is rough.
when my grandma's mind was like letting go to some extent, there were times where she would say very distressing things. I
Oh
am
my god.
worried. Uh,
I feel like with my grandma it was kind of the same thing. It was really scary. Because I don't know. I feel like it happened with dad a little bit even near the end, which is unfortunate because it sets off something in the brain, and it's not something to be laughed at, obviously, but like it's something that is not to be taken seriously either. Honestly, the person is experiencing some sort of mental trauma that is
yeah,
expressing itself in that way, and it sucks. But like
yeah.
Mel Brooks, please don't write anything. Don't talk to
Mel
anybody
Brooks,
anymore.
just stay retired, homie. You're
Just stay
so
retired.
good.
Like
You're so
you
good.
you have so much money right now. You have so much money, and you are successful for your kids, for your family, for your wife, like all this other stuff. You don't need to do this.
The man's worth like
You don't need to
$100
say these
million.
things. You seriously
Just,
don't need to
you're
say these things.
95 and richer than God. Just chill. Play some fucking
Yeah.
video games or something.
My goodness. Do what Jack Black is doing. Make a video game channel. Like
Yeah,
oh,
Jack Black just vibes on the internet now.
he's chill. He's so cool.
He's chilling.
Like, I used to hate Jack Black for some reason. He bugged me. But I
now-
realized it was all an act. The guy is just super. It was an act for Hollywood to
Yeah.
get those roles,
Yeah.
and that must have been so mentally wearing. The fact that he's just chilling now and like having a good time. It's the same with Steve-O and like all these other people who were in such like character roles almost.
Yeah, Jack Black is in an episode of this sketch comedy show that I've tried to show you before, and I will make you watch at some point so we can talk about it on this show, The Birthday Boys.
Oh,
and
okay, yeah.
He's in an episode of that, and he at one point, like the sketch, the main sketch that he's involved in is about like this very cheesy Hollywood movie that like destroys this guy's original idea, basically. Like, you know, his idea gets sold to Hollywood and it sucks, kind of thing. And Jack Black is in it, and he like accosts Jack Black at like a hotel, and Jack Black is like, "Listen, kid, sometimes you have to do the big budget Hollywood movies that you don't really like so that you can afford to do the independent cable channel comedy shows every now and again."
Honestly, that sounds about right. Like,
It was just like a very fourth wall breaking moment of the sketch. You could tell he was just being honest.
I need to watch this. This sounds very eye-opening. Yeah, show me this later so that we can talk about it tomorrow, maybe. Don't make me take a test on tomorrow, please. Like, I'm so
take a test tomorrow.
so tired.
Um,
What was it? The Myers-Briggs test or whatever? See if I'm a robot or.
yeah, we'll figure out if you're a robot or if you're a Scorpio or if you're a sociopath. You know, those are the three options.
Wait, what? Those are the three. None of those
Yeah.
are good.
By the way, you're watching Velvet Butcher Shop. We're live Monday to Friday at 1 Eastern. We're going to drop the intro music. We'll be back in 60 seconds. We talked earlier about Mel Brooks possibly deciding to have some kind of senior moment and drop, I don't know, some slurs or something. Let's talk about a different kind of a senior moment that you might have. Although actually, we don't know if this was a senior moment or caused by drugs or what it was exactly. But
Honestly,
there,
the information is lacking.
a man in Canada
Oh,
stopped
of course,
in an
it's Canada.
intersection to eat chicken wings.
What?
After he stopped in the intersection, another car struck his vehicle because, that car ended up driving off. Somebody then picked up the phone to report the hit and run accident. The cops get there, and the guy is still eating his chicken wings and unaware that the accident happened.
Wait, did this man get arrested?
Yeah, I think so.
I needed to read the whole article.
They
That was what? Like, why? What? The guy must have been high on something.
said that he was possibly intoxicated in the article. I just want to say,
How did
how
this
high
fucking
do you
happen?
have to be to just stop in an intersection and eat chicken wings? Because okay, I was trying to think about this, and I've been pretty high many times in my life.
Yeah.
And there have been a few times I've been so high that I did slightly silly things. Like I remember one time, it was the middle of the night, and I was really, really high. And this is when I was in college, and I was driving around, and this light turned green, and there were no other cars at the intersection, and I just sat there for like a good minute in the turn lane, just like with the light, and there's no other cars around at this intersection. It's just me there, but like the light's green, and I'm just sitting there in the turn lane for like a good minute, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I can turn. So I've been high enough and in a foolish enough situation that I can kind of understand like slightly, but I can't understand. It's like if there's like a ladder that you climb that gets you to this decision of sitting in your car eating chicken wings stopped in an intersection. I don't
You might have a
understand like the
problem.
last few rungs what they are. I can understand what the first few rungs might be, like getting really high, buying chicken wings, driving irresponsibly, right? But
Yeah, but what are the charges even? I remember reading the charges and being like, those don't match up with what's happening here. Like, it sounds like the guy left his car to go get the chicken wings.
no,
Really?
he was just sitting there eating chicken wings. I mean, that is what it sounds like to me too, but according to the report, he was sitting there eating chicken wings the whole time.
So how do you not notice you got hit?
Maybe his stereo was bumping,
But at the same time, like that, the vibrate. Maybe. I feel like it's such a weird situation. Like, what happened?
It's a really weird situation.
Let me look at these charges. Actually, like, charge after stopping in an intersection to eat chicken wings. As a result of the investigation, police arrested and charged 67-year-old William Newlove of Muskoka Lakes with impaired operation and failed to report accident. So wait, so he's in trouble for failing to report the accident.
Yes.
I can understand that because he was probably just didn't know it happened.
Yeah, he didn't know it happened.
But impaired operation, that says to me, like, did they charge him for eating and driving? Were the keys still in the car? Are the lights on in this picture? Yeah, the lights are on in this picture. So the keys were still in the car, and he was at a stop at an intersection. So technically, those charges match up.
Yeah, no.
But that's
maybe
still...
just don't vibe in an intersection.
I guess
Just-
don't vibe in an intersection.
Just
That's the
pull
lesson
over
from this article.
somewhere else.
The other lesson from the Mel Brooks article would be don't just vibe. So the opposite of what
Just
this
go.
guy's doing.
Today's moral, actually, just in general, is just go home and vibe.
Just go home and vibe. It's okay.
Don't.
at
If you think you might be about to go out and make mistakes in the world, just go home and vibe instead.
The feeling of causing chaos, you don't want that.
You don't want that feeling.
It's not okay. Like, if you want that, you need to see someone about that feeling. I don't know what to say here. I'm promoting therapy.
Speaking of driving and going home and vibing, the U.S. government wants to know why Tesla owners can play video games while the car is in motion.
Well, that car in this picture is clearly a Subaru, but this...
Yeah, he was
the
not
Tesla-
gaming and eating wings.
I
While
feel like
stopped
if
at
it
the
wasn't
inter-
Tesla, he'd be gaming.
So apparently, first of all, I just want to point out that this feature went undiscovered for a full year because people are not entirely bad. Humans are actually kind of good, I think. And I think situations like this prove it. For a whole year, no one even thought to try gaming while driving because why the fuck would you do that?
Why would you do that? It seems... Fuck! I don't know. Like, you're grabbing a controller and then grabbing the steering wheel? Like, what happens?
Yeah,
Masculine urge to Twitch stream in a Tesla on fire. Oh, no. That's some Travis Scott shit right
I
there.
don't know what the heck, but yeah, so for a whole year, this feature went undiscovered. People knew that you could play games while the car was stopped, and they would do that, like you're sitting parked, you're picking someone up, they haven't come out of the building yet. You
You're
play a
on
few
break.
rounds of solitaire in your Tesla. Why not, right? But it's the moving part that is the problem. For some reason, this was considered a feature that should be allowed. Is that while the car is in motion, you can play
It
video
shouldn't be
games.
allowed
And
if it's in motion.
there's no attempt to sort of make sure that it's not the driver playing either. Like, it's not even like there's a safeguard to try to make sure it's not the driver playing in particular. Because, like, okay, you're driving in your Tesla and your passenger wants to, play a little Candy Crush or, whatever. Like, why not? Right? I don't have a problem with that. But at the same time, if you're going to enable that feature, the car needs to be able to tell that that's a passenger doing it somehow. And I understand that I'm asking for something slightly complex, but I'm not asking for the impossible. So, like, especially in a car, the car can already play video games. I mean, that's pretty sophisticated.
Yeah, it's already a very sophisticated.
You make it a little more sophisticated, okay? Come on. I'm baffled.
I feel like there should be a lockout system. Like, you shouldn't be able to be playing that shit while you're moving and in the driver's seat. That's bizarre. There's got to be a lockout function when you're in motion. that you can set. But I'm sure that people have jailbroken the Tesla at some point. I don't know how you jailbreak a Tesla, but apparently it's possible.
It's possible, as far as I know.
Anyway,
it's pretty weird. There's a lot of things
why
about
you would
Tesla.
do that though. Like that seems like such a weird fucking thing to do when you're driving, to be playing a video game. Because I mean, I can understand listening to a podcast or like listening to music.
Yeah.
But like
video games kind of
go
take
to
your
the
whole
sense
attention.
of like you're taking your eyes off the road to
Yeah.
fucking look at something. Don't do that. You're gonna hurt somebody. You're in a vehicle, a death machine, basically. Like,
least distracting video games take a lot of your attention.
Like even Loop Hero. Like I'm thinking Loop Hero, you would have to be like, I gotta look over every once in a while and be like, I gotta adjust this. Click. Yeah. Okay. I need a sword there.
Anything that causes you to look at something besides the road.
What? It just doesn't seem like sensible.
Not ideal.
I guess sense in this day and age has really gone out the fucking window. I'm not gonna lie.
There's a lot of things about Teslas that don't make sense. I'm sorry. I was trying to make that scroll.
Okay.
I fucked up. There's a lot of things about Teslas that don't make sense, but this is definitely one of the most baffling things so far.
It just seems bizarre.
Yeah, it's definitely a very Elon Musk move, though. I mean,
with that haircut, yeah.
With that haircut. So at what point do you apparently you get so rich at some point that you don't need a stylist anymore? Like, what's the deal with that?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
You know,
honestly don't. I don't get it.
If you had anyone who is capable of telling you no, but of course you don't because you're the richest man in the world and you're so goddamn rich that it's unfathomable. But if you had anyone in the world that was capable of telling you no, they would say, Elon, you look like an early 2000s steampunk guy.
I mean,
you look like an aging fucking pop rock guy.
It feels like half of these people that do this go to their barber and just say, fuck me up. Like, fuck this shit up real quick.
Fuck this shit right up. Destroy this.
Yeah, destroy my hair and make it an art piece of some kind. Like, it's not even an art piece. Like, it looks like poop. I don't...
There's an extent to which sometimes people overthink hair a little, you know? Like yes, hair is cool and there's lots of things that you can do with it, but also, like, you don't need to, like, try to have a brand new original hairdo all the time.
Pete Davidson just lets it grow and just gets Kim Kardashian out of the blue. Like, what happened? When did we go south with this?
Yeah, I agree with this comment. We are in a real emperor has no clothes moment in history. Yeah, I mean, like, this dude looks stupid as shit. I don't even know what else to say. And I'm not even trying to just rag on him. Like, I appreciate fashion. We both like fashion. Fashion is something that we like to talk about on this show more, honestly. If sometimes I see someone like Chuck Schumer, for instance, he's just a weird, gross Democrat senator guy that I don't particularly care for. But sometimes he wears a really nice suit. I can still recognize that when he's wearing a really fine tailored suit, great cloth, you know, all that. I can be like, damn, that guy is wearing a good suit right now. It doesn't make me like him more, but it can still be true. I never feel that way looking at Elon Musk. I've never looked at any of Elon's outfits and thought, yeah, he's wearing some nice clothes today. Maybe he's still an asshole, but at least he's looking fresh right now. No,
It looks like
Elon
he's
has
been
never
riding a
looked fresh.
motorcycle through some sort of cyberpunk city. That's what it feels like. It feels like Elon's been trapped in Cyberpunk 2077.
Just jerking off Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, in the uncut film behind the director's scene. Why'd they make me film 32 hours of this?
Keanu, we need you to jack off for 10 more hours for Cyberpunk 2077 tomorrow. He's just like, what the fuck's going on?
Shooting blanks. Anyway, why do we always end up on that subject every once in a
Keanu
while?
Reeves?
I don't know why.
At least we're not talking about the Aristocats.
God damn it. You had to bring it up, didn't you?
I had to, yeah. Let's switch from
Speaking of talking animals.
hold on, nope, you can't do that one yet. I was gonna switch us from one car story to yet another car story. We got a third car story today. A Florida man used a flamethrower to settle a parking dispute, according
Oh my
to
God, what?
Florida police.
Like an actual flamethrower?
Like an actual, not like the cheesy like propane hand torch kind of flamethrowers that you can buy cheaply that shoot flame like maybe 2 feet. No. This is like the kind of flamethrower that shoots fire like 30 feet away from you.
Oh. What?
Yeah, hold on. Allow me to make this story more interesting, because this is not like an isolated incident. I expected reading this that this was a very unusual one-time incident, right?
No, this happens a lot apparently.
No. I'm not even talking about just people fucking around flamethrowers in general. I'm just talking about this guy. So apparently this guy had a history of harassing his neighbors with his flamethrower, which just seems like something should be done about.
But get this. In the US, there are no federal laws regulating the sale of flamethrowers.
That's
What
correct.
the fuck?
That's right. Yeah, you can just buy a flamethrower right now online, and there will be basically no significant record of you doing it other than the credit card purchase, and there will be no regulation about your ownership of said flamethrower. You can just do that.
There is a law in Florida that outlaws the manufacture or sale of shotgun shells called Dragon Breath that mimic flamethrowers by shooting a flame or fireball. So that's a specific cartridge, though.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a thing that could fucking explode if there's a leak in the hose. That's crazy to me, because that could take out more than one person if he's in a group of people. I don't know why people would be standing around a guy with a flamethrower, but there's weird stuff going on, people. Like, this guy is using it.
Yeah. So the only two states where you can't buy a flamethrower are Maryland and California. Everywhere else, you could just buy a flamethrower. No permits, no licenses, etc. Here's an even more interesting wrinkle to this story. You're supposed to affirm when you buy this flamethrower with the company that sells them that you were never convicted of a felony, domestic abuse, or arson. And this guy was convicted of domestic abuse twice.
Wait, hold up. The company apparently makes a t-shirt identifying the wearer as a little terrorist.
Yeah.
What is this? This seems like something out of a fucking movie.
I don't understand how this went on this long.
How is this still going covered? This is bizarre. This is from Click Orlando, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it's pretty
What?
weird. I just feel like if my neighbor was just like taking a flamethrower out and just lighting up the street regularly with flamethrower bullshit,
I'd be freaking out if my fucking.
I think I would respond to that a lot faster.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to blame the victims here, to be clear. Like, they were probably scared reasonably of this guy.
Honestly, I'd be scared of a
They
guy
might
with
have,
a
you know,
flamethrower,
they
too.
probably had all kinds of reasons why this was complicated, and I don't want to discount that at all. But I'm just saying, I don't understand. I just don't understand. I think that's all I really have to. I don't understand. I don't understand.
this-
Why is a man running around with a flamethrower in Florida
Unregulated.
just shooting flamethrower blasts at his neighbors to freak them out, and just getting away with it for apparently a long time? I don't understand.
What? So he even admitted to shooting the flamethrower towards the vehicle, but denied targeting the teens. That's still like, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? You have traumatized so many fucking people on your street.
Yeah, and
with
then
your
he
crazy
has the
fucking
nerve to blame that family and say they're like a bad influence on the neighborhood. And it's like, homie, step off. You don't get to decide who's a bad influence on the neighborhood after you get arrested for nearly flamethrowing one of your neighbors. Okay? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
This is. I feel like this guy needs to be assessed mentally. Maybe go to therapy.
I feel like he needs to be assessed with a fist to the face.
This does it's bizarre. It seems like a lot of people are experiencing these mental like breaks, and it's really kind of crazy. But like, you're seeing some true colors come out, and it's scary. That's bizarre. This is a bizarre article to read.
Yeah. What do you want
like,
to bet it turns out? Because it just probably will be that way. What do you want to bet it turns out that this guy is white and the people he was harassing were not?
isn't that his picture at the top? No, that's a different thing. That's a different person. Apologies. This is bizarre, though. Andre Abrams, 57, Gainesville. Of course it's in Gainesville, Florida. Like,
but yeah, it just what a ridiculous situation. Just
it happened in the most ridiculous state, by the way. Like, there's so much shit going down in Florida. It seems like there's less cops there than there are in Portland, and like, I don't know.
They got plenty of cops in Florida. It's just that they don't really help the problem. If anything, Florida cops are notoriously as bonkers as everyone else there. Galactic Brain Take, I like this comment. What if MK Ultra happened on a massive scale in Florida? So I've seen some interesting things about this. Because, okay, so Florida, one of the reasons that we think of Florida as so wild is because Florida's crime reporting system is more transparent than a lot of states. And so a lot of things make it into the public record in some way in Florida that might not really see the light of day in your town, wherever you are out there, viewers.
That makes sense why a lot of the YouTubers out of that area have been reporting on a lot of the stuff.
But Florida is still crazy on top of that.
Florida is still crazy on top of that. They have so many poisonous things and things that can kill you that it's just ridiculous, including just people. Like, the people there will kill you. It's not.
If you manage to survive the wildlife, you'll get flamethrowered by a dude you didn't like the way you parked your car.
If you make it through the swamp and you get to the city, don't feel safe.
Keep feel safe. I had a housemate that was from Florida, And a lot of people hate where they're from if they've left it. It's not like a unique phenomenon. I famously shit on Ohio all the time on Twitter because I spent a decent portion of my childhood there, and Ohio sucks. So, like, I know a lot of people that are like, yeah, I'm from this place, it sucked. I'm from that place, it sucked. But ultimately, even a lot of those people are still like somewhat forgiving of some aspects of it. My housemate from Florida was just like, Florida is hell. It is hell on earth.
It's so weird, but it really is. Like, it's not even a purgatory. It's hell. There's no purgatory around that area. It's just bad. People go there to die. Like, it's not even a retirement community. It's a diamond community.
This is another good comment. There's something cosmically depressing about Florida. It's literally the Caribbean, and we just put suburbia on it.
It's wild.
Yeah, Florida is beautiful, and it really is a shame what we've done to it as humans.
Built on top of swamps. I mean, I guess Portland is also built on top of swamps.
Yeah, you're living in a swamp right now. You just think it's a nicer swamp, so.
It's not a nicer swamp. It's a temperate swamp. I've been playing too much RimWorld. Somebody help me. Send help.
So let's move on to, we got some animal stories.
Animal stories.
To help us with our second half of the show. First off, dozens of camels were barred from a Saudi camel beauty contest over a Botox scandal.
Wait, what? How do you give a camel Botox?
I mean, you just inject it.
Wait, is it in the humps or is it in the face?
Yo, actually, okay, so this camel beauty contest thing, I did a little bit of research into this, but this is actually this is a huge phenomenon. I do not understand it. I do not, if I had maybe several hours, I could have understood how this works entirely, but this is a complex, do you call it a sport? I don't know what you call it.
$66 million in prize money. Whew.
Yeah, it's camel breeding is a big industry. We don't think about it here because we don't have camels.
I didn't even think about that. There are no camels in North America.
No.
Have you seen a North American camel recently?
Yeah, camel breeding is a big industry, and I've worked in like poultry breeding and stuff. And yeah, I mean, this comment's exactly right. It's kind of the same phenomena as country fair prize livestock. It's actually exactly the same.
Yeah.
There are certain livestock, prizes and things like that are also, huge money. Breeding horses, for instance, is also a multi-million-dollar annual industry, and there are horse breeders that make a lot of money doing it. Yeah, so it's honestly it's not that dissimilar in any particular way. It's just a little bit different. I don't know exactly what criteria they judge the camels on. But yeah, it's a big deal. And so when I've done poultry breeding when I was a farmer. When you farm and you breed animals, you want to prove that your animals are good, and that has historically led to these livestock contests. At least it's one of the main reasons that they exist and persist, is because livestock breeders want to show off their best pig or their best goose or whatever, and be like, look at this, look how good this goose looks. Don't you want to buy my livestock?
Goose.
And it's the same thing with these camel competitions for sure. A lot of these people that are breeding these prize winning camels, some of them just do it for the fun of it, I'm sure. But a lot of them, they are professional camel breeders, and they're hoping to, solidify or continue or whatever their reputation, or improve their reputation, whatever, by winning these competitions. And so apparently they're so desperate to win these competitions and improve themselves that they are Botoxing the camels. I actually was able to find some information about what specifically was Botoxed here deeper in the article. So apparently, the lips, noses were Botoxed.
Whoa.
And then also some other parts of their head to make the heads just look bigger.
God, that's like an animal rights crime. Call PETA.
It's kind of fucked up.
Call PETA to save these camels. As long as they don't put them down. Christ.
It's kind of fucked up that people are going to these lengths and like sort of fucking with the camels like this. The camels certainly deserve better.
Send them to Canada. Canadian camels. Start a new breed.
Apparently, they might, like, some guy might just like stop his camel in the road in Canada and eat chicken wings, though.
Oh, I forgot about that. For a second, we were just talking about it. That poor camel. Like, why would you do that to an animal, though? Like, here, come here, buddy. I don't like this. Stop.
No, it's a really odd thing to even have happen. Certainly, though, other livestock breeding competitions have had these kinds of controversies in modern times. You know, people be doing hormone injection and plastic surgery and shit on their prize-winning animals sometimes, and it's pretty bizarre and messed up.
It just seems weird. Like, I don't know. I don't know why you would allow that to go down. I'm glad somebody stopped it happening from the competition, but like I hope they shut down that club. 10 out of 10 camel voice, Jim. I don't know what camels sound like. I tried.
What I think the most interesting part of this article was that to track down which camels were being tampered with, they used quote unquote specialized and advanced technology that was not clearly defined, which makes me think they've got some kind of like camel scanning device.
Camel scanning device. Just push this
Like we
camel
made a
into
scanner just to detect counterfeit camels.
Counterfeit camels. There's so many good band names here.
All right. And now for our top story. Are you ready for this? Save the best for last, folks. We got one more incredible story for you. So this is in Joe's state. We're going to Joe's state of Oregon for this. Joe even happened to
happened upon this.
To happen upon this.
That was such a weird day. Like I was just going to get cigarettes from the store and I was wondering like why all these cops were outside of a school. And I went back home and checked Reddit, went to our Portland just to figure out like what is going on over there? Like what happened? Is there like another school shooting situation? Like really hope not. Turns out it was a cussing crow. A crow that could talk. Like a talking animal.
Yeah, crows could talk.
Yeah, crows could talk.
They're not as commonly thought about as a talking bird because they don't take to it as well as some birds in general, but the exceptional crows, the best talking crows, are actually among the best talking birds. Cussing Crow is a great band name too.
We're knocking them out of the park today. If you need a band name, come on through.
So crows can be pretty talkative. And learn to talk really well sometimes. So they had this talking crow at the school, at this elementary school, and he just shows up one day and starts wandering around, and just sort of like not being aggressive with anyone, just being curious, and being kind of friendly, and soon enough the bird starts saying stuff like "What's up?" and stuff like that, and everyone starts getting excited. The kids start making friends with it, but also the bird was swearing a lot.
It was
This
swearing.
crow was cussing.
It was a very angry soul
Um,
crow.
and the animal wouldn't leave. The crow wouldn't leave.
They tried to shoo it off a bunch of
They
times.
tried to shoo it off a little bit. It wasn't that interested. It was just pretty friendly.
Probably
And
just sitting there saying, "Fuck you, leave me alone."
and so it lived at the school for a little while. It's not exactly clear if it was like a few days or a few weeks, but it lived at the school for a little while. But yeah, this crow is just wandering around teaching kids how to swear.
And it's an elementary school, so
yeah, it's elementary school, so that's especially if it was like a middle school or a high school, I'd be like, who cares? But it's elementary school, so I can understand slightly, even if I only care a little bit. I can understand slightly why parents were like kind of upset by their kids playing on the schoolyard with this crow that's like, bitch, tits, fuck.
I mean, they did make it a little hat, which was kind of cute. But like this crow was definitely influencing children's vocabulary at one point or another. And apparently it's back where it's supposed to be now. It's safe and like whatnot. But that's why all those cops were out in front of that school, and I'm glad it wasn't a school shooter. That's all. Honestly, good for that crow for stepping up and finding a warm place to chill out and teach kids new words, I guess. Teaching crow. It's like the giving tree, but the cussing crow.
One fun thing about like the capture attempts was that it was very hard to capture the crow because they're really smart. Yeah. And so the police ended up catching it by feeding it because they knew if they tried to net it and they failed, that the crow would remember that and they would never be able to try that trick again.
Smart.
Like that's how smart crows are. If you try a trick on them and it fails, they will remember that forever. They'll remember that trick you tried to pull on them, literally forever in some cases.
That's wild. Like, I mean, they definitely have a steel trap of memory or mind or whatever. I think they're one of the more like developed species, aren't they? Like in communication and like that part of their brain is just
they're highly intelligent. They are capable of playing games and even like creating their own games with each other. They give each other names. Also, studies also indicate swearing being linked to being smart. And if the crow is pretty intelligent, then God, that's why it was a swearing crow, because it was so smart. I mean, it was probably, and by probably I mean almost certainly, smart enough to understand that swear words got stronger reactions out of people than other words.
I mean, yeah, because people are gonna laugh at that. Like you don't. I remember we had a budgie that could speak like 400 words. We got gifted, not gifted, I guess. The teacher was leaving, and it was a grade school teacher who gave it to me, as a parting gift, I guess. And he had been in the classroom for a long time, but the bird knew over 400 words, could curse, do all this other stuff. He ate breakfast with us sometimes, and would just like, I would wake up in the morning to this bird like cursing at me, saying like, "Fuck you, wake up, wake up, it's time to get up, I need food." And it's just this little blue budgie that has this tiny little peanut brain sometimes. Like you think it's so small in that little head, but Jesus Christ. I don't know.
Brain size and intelligence don't really
it doesn't match up, right?
Doesn't really match up. Yeah. That's been studied a few times. So the bird actually, the crow, actually had a name and actually had a place of origin.
Really?
Yeah, this story has a
What?
whole nother layer to it because so actually this crow was named Cosmo and it belonged to a local family. And and Cosmo, there's a preschool near where they live, and Cosmo goes to hang out with the kids sometimes, and he loves kids. And so the school, when he wandered there, was a natural fit for him. And the family thought Cosmo had possibly been killed, so they were actually relieved when he was found.
Oh, that's so
And
good.
but the family confirmed that Cosmo does get he's mostly friendly, but he does get a certain amount of pleasure out of teasing people and causing trouble. So
Yeah.
all that swearing.
I mean, that makes sense now. The origin story of Cosmo the Crow, the cussing crow.
Cosmo the cussing crow. What a wonderful character. You
I'm glad he was
know?
reunited with his family, though. Jesus, that's got to be wild. Thinking your crow who can talk is dead. Oof. Like, wait, how did they get the crow? How did they get a crow? Did they just catch a crow? What's the origin story of Cosmo the crow?
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess they just rescued a crow under some circumstances. I don't know exactly what. And apparently before the crow went to the school, he spent a couple days hanging out by a Planet Fitness, just like greeting and sort of messing with people that would come into the building there. Like he was just like lost and trying to find his way home, the poor guy. And he was just wandering around town, making friends and trouble everywhere he went.
Jesus. Lucky
Honestly, this story kind of makes me want a crow.
You have a frog and cats.
Technically, it would be a wildlife offense if they forced the crow to stay in their home, but they don't, and that's how it got away, by the way.
So I bet you it's like some sort of rehabilitation center or something like that. I
No,
don't
it's
know.
just a family.
It's just a family with a crow? What?
Family with a crow.
Okay. Weird. But cool. I mean, I guess there's families with foxes and stuff. Like, there are certain forms of wildlife you can keep under certain circumstances, but, like, it's not keeping it. It's, like, making sure that it stays alive, because if you release it back into the wild, it's gonna fucking die. Like,
Yeah, in some cases, for sure. Well, Cosmo the Cussing Crow, we salute you here on the Velvet Butcher Shop. You're a real bird of the people. And
Corvid in COVID.
Yeah, the Corvid and COVID. Exactly. This has been a fun episode.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We are Velvet Butcher Shop. We are live at 1 Eastern, Monday to Friday. And then the videos and most of the audio shows are available forevermore here or on Spotify if you want the audio only version. And sometimes we make clips or do things like that. If you want to support the show, first of all, subscribe, like, do all that stuff. Tell your friends. It really does help if we get those numbers up. Woo! And also, if you can and you want to, head on over to patreon.com/velvetbutchershop or ko-fi.com/velvetbutchershop, your choice. And you could sign up. You give us a one-time donation, or you can become a reoccurring patron, which comes with some benefits. And we will make the show better with your help. So thanks, y'all. And we will see you tomorrow on Velvet Butcher Shop.